I'm Peter Corr and I started National Rejoin March. The purposes of it is, I'm not a speaker by the way, I'm not a public speaker or journalist or politician or anything like that. So excuse me if I don't come across as professional as Caroline just did. But National Rejoin March is really a platform for all of us to campaign on. So the main event is the march in London every year, but we do all kinds of stuff either side of it all throughout the year. And this year is the Rejoin Ramble, which is where we're walking from London to Brussels. I didn't envisage doing this kind of stuff when I started. I thought I was just organising a march, and that one march became an annual march, and then I realised you need to promote it either side of it, so that's why they'll be doing talks like, beginning to do talks like this and social media content and stuff like that. So I want to follow on from a couple of points that Caroline said. I'll ask quite a few different questions regularly, and at the moment, especially with the results from yesterday, I'm asked how can both Reform and Rejoin both be popular, because the polls do show them both as popular. I think the reason, for starters, the results yesterday, just to give you a bit of hope maybe, Reform were winning about 33% of the seats they was contesting yesterday. Last year they was winning 41% of the seats they were contested in. So it does suggest they have peaked or going down despite what the results were saying yesterday. And nationally they are polling at 27%. Now I keep on about this on social media, and it really does get attention, and perhaps you guys can use it too. If they're polling at 27%, that means 73% are not going to vote Reform. That is a massive majority of people in this country that do not want to vote Reform. And I want to get that message to Brussels too, because people might not realise that, and because of the way our system is, that 73% is obviously broken down, and none of them are matching the 27% that Reform are. But a massive majority of this country do not want Reform. So that's why when you look at 27% and then you look at the polling for Rejoin, which is between 55 and 60% and has been for like 3 years now, or 80% plus if you're asking just under 25-year-olds, that's why both Reform and Rejoin can be popular, because Reform are part of the first past the post system and Rejoin would be a yes-no referendum. So that's why both can be popular. So I think we just have to keep up the campaigning really, and it's not going to be easy, as Caroline has just mentioned, for freedom of movement or the Euro, for example. If you talk about that, especially if public support does go down. But I think we can fight that. And how do you do that? I think just be positive. So, for example, the Euro. If people talk to me about the Euro and they don't want a Euro, they won't consider Rejoin because they don't want a Euro. I will just tell them that 21 countries have joined the Euro and none of them have left. All of them have gained despite early scepticism. They all had early inflation scares with parts of it, but that levelled out, and now most of the scares that they all had turned out to not be true, and now the Euro in the countries that adopted it is really popular. So that's just a quick example of how you might campaign positively, instead of talking about, because the Remain campaign, which to be honest I agree with, was all doom and gloom, we're going to lose this, we're going to lose that. I think the Rejoin campaign should purely concentrate on what we get from being in the EU and reasons to rejoin, rather than trying to say, oh, but look what we lost this, we lost that. Say what we're going to gain this, we're going to gain that if we rejoin. And I do think we're going to rejoin. It's not if for me, it's when. Preferably the sooner the better, so that we don't have to keep doing the march every year and I can have some time off. So when we've rejoined, I think we have to take part properly this time. Personally, I think we should be in the Euro. I don't know if Schengen makes sense, because some people tell me we're an island, so we don't necessarily have to be part of that. But I think we have to take part properly this time, and especially in European elections. So we need to really, people like us that have been campaigning for the EU, and especially Rejoin, once we're back in, that's not the end of it, because then we have to do the European elections and make sure we're electing proper people that want to go into that parliament and do good for the people of Europe, not people like Farage that are only going in there to get some money and wreck the parliament because they want to leave. We need to elect proper people ideally normal people, everyday people that have got everyday work and life experience. So it's important to me that we just keep the spirit alive, like you do, all of you, especially at Cornwall for Europe, and Bev and her team are just absolutely amazing. I always sing Bev's praises to wherever I'm talking, because this is one of the strongest groups, along with Leeds for Europe, actually, they're great too. So just campaign, keep campaigning, don't give up, attend all of the events like this and the march and anything you can do. Educate people, be positive and don't give up, because that is what we at NRM are about. And I just want to quickly finish on a very short video. Whose idea was this?
What?
Walking London to Brussels.
Yours.
Why don't we just post it?